Hey, Elaine. First of all, thanks for having me back on. It's always a joy to be here. So, what inspired this series? I mean, the whole point of the TikTok channel is that we're trying to help demystify China and help people understand. And one of the things that a lot of people think about, like that you've seen pictures of online, is really badly translated phrases like this. And once you learn Chinese, you can look at them and realize there actually is a logic to how they get that way. So I am just trying to help people understand that, this isn't just a horrible I mean, it is a horrible translation, but there's a logic to it.
Well, I want to play one more video and get your reaction on the other side.
How did we get here? Let's break it down. This character is called yi, and it can mean one or This character is called ci, and it means time, as in like one time, two times. This character is called xing, and it has a lot of different meanings: state, characteristic, gender, and by extension, sex. When these three characters are all together, it means disposable. One-time use, single use, disposable. But if you translate each character literally by itself, it literally says times sex. Finally, these last two characters together are 用品, so it should say product, probably. So the whole thing should say disposable products, and instead we got that.
So Zach, let me get this right. It seems to come down to translating the Chinese characters as a whole and not individual characters. Explain that for us just a little bit.
Sure. Well, there are all sorts of different translation errors that can happen, and that's the fun part of this series is, and for me at least, is I always get to figure out what exactly the issue is. But in this particular instance that you gave, the issue is that, like you said, the translator, or probably the machine translation that did it, took each character individually. But with Chinese, it doesn't work like that. Characters work together to form words. And so if you take each character by itself, you're going to get something that's completely wrong, like in that sign there.
And so when you were in China, you lived there for some years. How often would you come across one? And who was the target audience for these signs? I mean, they're in English too, so that's what you would read.
Well, that is an interesting part of it. I mean, China really is trying to make sure that it's accessible to foreigners who come there, at least as much as is possible. That doesn't mean that every single employee who's working on these things has English proficiency, so they do the best that they can. They're trying to make it accessible, and sometimes these mistakes happen. And for us as native English speakers, they can be hilarious, but they can also just be a window into this other language and this other world.